Once upon a time, Dwayne The Rock Johnson could do no wrong. Every film he touched, Fast and Furious, Jumanji, Red Notice, turned into gold. He was Hollywood's highest paid star, a global icon who went from the wrestling ring to ruling the box office. But lately, the cracks are showing. One flop after another, critical failures, studio reboots without him. And fans are starting to ask, has The Rock finally lost his grip on Hollywood? Is this the downfall of the people's champ? Or the start of one last epic comeback? Before Hollywood crowned him king, Dwayne Johnson was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. The Rock, the WWE icon, who could command a crowd with a raised eyebrow. But he didn't stop at the ring. He traded the turnbuckle for the big screen and built himself into a one-man franchise machine. From Fast and Furious to Jumanji to Netflix's Red Notice, every project he touched seemed unstoppable. Audiences loved him. Families, teens, action junkies, everyone. He was the safe bet studios dream of. Charisma, charm, muscles, and mass appeal. At his peak, he wasn't just an actor, he was the brand. Hollywood's highest paid star, the man who could open a movie on name alone. It looked like The Rock had conquered it all, until the momentum started to slip. Then came The Smashing Machine, the film that was supposed to prove Dwayne Johnson wasn't just a blockbuster brand, but a real actor. Directed by Uncut Gems filmmaker Benny Safdie, it was an artsy sports biopic about MMA fighter Mark Kerr, raw, emotional, and worlds away from his usual action-packed comfort zone. The hype was massive. Critics called it his shot at an Oscar. But when it finally hit theaters, reality hit harder than any punch in the octagon. A $50 million budget. And barely $10 million at the US box office. Audiences didn't show up. Reviews were mixed. Some praised the risk, others called it self-indulgent. And yet, even in the wreckage, one thing stood tall. The Rock's performance. Critics across the board said he'd never been better. Even Christopher Nolan publicly praised it, saying, "I don't think you'll see a better performance this year, or most other years." The film flopped. But for the first time, Dwayne Johnson had something money couldn't buy: artistic respect. Unfortunately, The Smashing Machine wasn't an isolated hit gone wrong. It was part of a pattern. Before that, there was Black Adam, the superhero epic that was supposed to launch a new era for DC. Instead, it crashed and burned. Critics slammed it, audiences shrugged, and the movie couldn't even break even. Warner Brothers eventually hit reset on the entire DC universe, without The Rock in it. Then came Baywatch, his big comedy remake with Zac Efron. All abs, no laughs, and nowhere near the success studios expected. Even Disney's Jungle Cruise, a project packed with nostalgia, big stars, and a $200 million budget, barely limped across the finish line. It made its money back, but just barely. And only after Disney Plus streaming numbers softened the blow. One after another, the movies that should have been surefire hits turned into reminders that even Hollywood's strongest man can't hold up a weak script. The once invincible Rock was starting to look human. And as the numbers dipped, the internet pounced. Film critics, YouTubers, and Reddit threads all started echoing the same thought. Maybe The Rock's reign was finally over. YouTuber John Campea even declared his box office domination officially done, pointing out how audiences have grown tired of the same formula: the invincible hero, the one-liners, the predictable happy endings. The term rock fatigue began floating around. That sense of overexposure when a star's brand stops feeling fresh. The charisma was still there, the smile still perfect, but the magic? It wasn't hitting like it used to. But through all the noise and criticism, The Rock stayed grounded. After The Smashing Machine bombed, he broke his silence with an emotional post. Not angry, not defensive, just honest. He wrote, "In our storytelling world, you can't control box office results. But what I realized you can control is your performance, your commitment to completely disappear and go elsewhere." He thanked director Benny Safdie for believing in him, calling the role life-changing. There was no spin, no excuses. Just a man owning his choices and standing by his craft. It was rare humility from someone known for power and dominance. A glimpse of Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock. But if there's one thing The Rock knows, it's how to stage a comeback. He's not walking away. He's loading up for another round. Jumanji 3 is already locked for release next year, reuniting him with the franchise that proved he could make magic outside of action flicks. Then comes Fast X, Part 2, in 2027. Another chance to flex his blockbuster muscles and return to one of his most beloved roles. Disney's also betting on him again with Jungle Cruise 2, thanks to the film's strong streaming performance that gave it a second life online. And perhaps the biggest wild card of all, a live-action Moana. After Moana 2 crossed the billion-dollar mark, expectations couldn't be higher. Each of these projects could rewrite the narrative. If they hit, The Rock's story shifts from fallen giant to Hollywood's comeback king. And while the blockbusters might bring back his box office glory, The Rock isn't done chasing art. Despite the Smashing Machine tanking, Amazon MGM has already signed him for another film with Benny Safdie, Lizard Music. It's a bold move, one that proves studios still believe in him not just as a star, but as a serious actor. The project is being described as imaginative, cinematic, and deeply original, the kind of film that could define this next chapter of his career. It's risky, yes, but then again, so was leaving wrestling for Hollywood, and we all know how that turned out the first time. So what are we really witnessing here? The fall of an icon, or the quiet before The Rock's biggest comeback yet? Every legend hits a low point. The question is, can he turn this one into another rise? What do you think? Is The Rock's time at the top over, or will he smash his way back into Hollywood's A-list? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Papaya Room for more celebrity deep dives. And hey, ring that bell icon so you don't miss the next story shaking up Hollywood.